everyone, it's Catherine here. Thanks for joining me on my channel today. I'm here to share with you a layout I'm creating for Confessions of a Paper Addict, and I have this gorgeous stitched stars cut file, and I'm going to stitch it with these embroidery threads. So 725, 602, 958 and 312. Now, two of these cottons were from the mood board, so I am using that as my inspiration for June, the June mood board. And I'm going to use some stars, star sequins as well, and some white thread there. I've got my photo there, which I'll talk about a bit later on, but I'm using this paper. I've already got it in my album, and it's got this layout on one side, and I thought I would just use the back of that. I don't do that very often, but it is good when you can use the back of the paper also. So that paper is from the Sunkissed collection by COAPA Vanilla Studio, so I'm going to be using that collection to create with today. And I thought I would show you some of my different stitching styles that I'm going to be using. So I'm starting with this pink thread, and I just take it through from the back to the front, and I'm going to tape that down with some washi tape here. Sorry, I am just going on normal speed. Usually I do speed my videos up, but I wanted to kind of show you through the process of doing the stitching. Don't worry, I don't make you watch all of the stitching, but I do want to show you some of the stitching styles I'm going to use on this cut file. So first of all, I'm going to do a chain stitch. So I brought the thread through from the back to the front, and now I'm creating a bit of a loop. It's a little bit awkward trying to show you on camera, but I'm now bringing that cotton from the back to the front again, but bringing it up through that loop so that it creates a chain. So I'll do that again. So I'm holding that piece of thread there, and I'm going to take it back down the same one it's in to create a loop, and then I'm going to bring the thread back up through that next hole and through the loop at the same time to create that chain. So I will show you a few more times, and I'll show you some different stitches, but that is what I go ahead and do for that first row. And yes, your cotton will get caught and can get caught. So, you know, you just need to be a little bit careful, because obviously you can tear the paper. You need to kind of get the right tension on the stitches, but you know, a good cardstock holds up pretty well. So there is that chain stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and do that around that first layer of star. As you can see, just creating that chain, so a loop and then up through the center and pull it reasonably tight so it gives a good coverage. I really like this stitch because it's probably one of my most used stitches, because I really like the texture that it gives. So there's that one all done. Now I'm going to go through, and I am starting in the same spot, but it wouldn't matter if you started in different spots. I was just starting in that same spot because I wanted that to be at the base of my layout, and that was just kind of where I started. I don't know why, but I am picking out the same color washi to use on my different colored threads. I don't know if that's my OCD or what, but yeah, I just was using that same colored washi tape. Now with this one, I am just going to use a backstitch. So what I've done is I've pulled, sorry, I'm a bit off camera there, I didn't realize. So I've pulled the thread through from back to front, and then I've just done that first stitch, but now I'm going ahead. Again, didn't realize how close I was getting to that camera, but yeah, this is a pretty simple stitch, just using that back stitch, so coming up through that hole and then back into the hole before it, and this is a reasonably easy stitch to do, and probably one of the simplest. So if you're looking at getting and doing some stitching on a layout, this will be your simplest stitch, and it still looks really great and effective. So now I'm using this green, and I'm going to do a similar sort of style, but I am going to leave a gap in between, because as I'm creating this layout, I'm sort of creating less and less stitches as I go out from the outside, sorry, from the inside out, I'm creating less stitches. So I'm just leaving a gap now in between those stitches. And we're doing a very similar thing, just kind of running, doing a running stitch along there. Oh, and yes, it does get caught on the corner of the page, so you do need to be careful. Like it is, it's a bit of an awkward thing to get maneuvered. And like I said, it does kind of, sometimes the cotton, balls up and you have to try and unthread it and get it straight again. So now I'm doing what's called a French knot. So what I'm doing, I've taken the cotton from back to front, I've looped it around my needle 3 times, and now I'm pushing it back down the same hole. I really honestly thought I was on camera a little bit better than this, but let's see if we can get the next one in camera. So I'm only doing this on every second hole because I did want to create more gap, like I said. So maybe I should have zoomed in on this, but at the time I was thinking, yeah, I'll just hold it up to the camera. I've been quite sick, so I created this when I was a bit ill, and I think I just just went with it. So like you can see, I've wrapped it around my needle 3 times, and now I'm going to push the needle back through the hole. And you do need to be careful because you don't want to pull too tightly when you pull that cotton through, because it could pull through the paper. But I really love how that French knot looks. Again, they're super easy, they're not difficult. And on the last piece of this star, I am just going to go ahead and add some sequins. So I'm just using some white thread here. I am putting the sequin on to the needle, and I'm going to do stitches either side of that sequin to hold it in place. I am using quite a big needle here because the holes in the cut file do come out a reasonable size. So I'm using quite a large needle. I'm also using a very big needle eye of the needle. It's quite large so that I can fit the 6 strands of cotton. So on each of these stitches I've used all 6 strands of the embroidery floss there. So like you can see, I am just pulling that through and then coming back down through the center of that sequin star. And I really like the effect that this is creating. Like you can see, it's getting stuck on a few of those corners, but yeah, it's coming along. So I do go ahead and finish that up. So I've stitched around the whole star. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pull out some of the embellishments and some of the papers to back this photo with. So this photo is of a group of seeing eye dogs. These are all mums from the breeding centre. We look after one of the breeding boys from the program, and so we got sent this gorgeous picture of some of the mums that were in when our when the dog we care for, Murray, his puppies were born. So one of these dogs is the mum to Murray's puppies. So we just love being part of this program and helping to support such a great cause, and so we enjoy being involved in the whole community. So seeing this picture and seeing how happy these mums were, taking a bit of a break from their puppies at the time and getting to play in the centre was really lovely to see. So I wanted to document that. So now I'm creating my title, and I took this super from I think that's from the Legendary collection, the clear stickers, and I wanted to use up those. So I'm just using some of those brush strokes or paint strokes to create a base for the title. So it's going to be Super Star Mummas, and so then I'm taking these black alphas and just putting down star. And I really liked how those strokes just kind of added to that white background just to create a bit of a base for that title to sit on. Now I'm taking these gold alphas. I think these are ones from Dear Lizzy. The star was certainly from Amy Tangerine, so I think these are Dear Lizzy, and I'm just spelling out Mummas across the bottom there. And I will fix that up along the edge of the photo as well, but I don't make you watch all of that because it is a bit tedious kind of laying it out. So I put that there, and I'm going to go ahead and try and do some embellishing now. So I really wanted to use some of these wood veneers or wood, I don't know what they're called, maybe wood epoxies. Anyway, this one had a star on it, so I wanted to use that. And then I'm taking out these fussy cut florals from one of the papers in that Cocoa Vanilla Studio collection, and I'm just laying them around the photo. I've got a bunch of them, so I'm just trying to pick out the right ones that will fit in the right places and, you know, be the right size. I know I'm covering up some of my stitching, but you know, it honestly, like, the stitching didn't take too long. And then this layout comes together really quickly because, you know, a lot of the sort of hard work has been done. So now I'm taking this sticker and I'm just adding some of this, I think it's just talcum powder because I wasn't sure exactly where I wanted to put it. So that says Just Chillin', and I'm just going to keep you know, pulling out things from this collection to embellish with. And while I'm doing that, I will let you know that I've left all the links below to Confessions of a Paper Addict Etsy store, a link directly to this cut file, as well as links to the Facebook group. There is a free stitch cut file. That is the theme of this month, and I love it. So, you know, go ahead and check all of those out. The new cut files are amazing. I've been playing, and it's just, I love stitching, so it's so much fun. So I've added that sticker down the bottom there that says Time Together, because these girls were having, or Mummas was having so much fun being together. So I've added a little tab at the top there, captured, and now I've actually gone ahead off camera and just stuck all of that down with some wet adhesive, and I'm just using some Jen Hadfield Gold glitter spray here to do some sprinkles around the edge. But that is almost it for my layout. So thank you very much for joining me, and look, I hope my voice has been okay in this voiceover. I've really struggled with a bad cold over the last few days, so yeah, hopefully my voice hasn't been too bad. But yes, thanks again for joining me. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of those stitches, and I hope you're inspired to create with the mood board for the month of June, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you, everyone. Bye.